Okay, so the biggest challenge to travel in peak season in the middle of August is not the airport workers' strikes, it's not the air traffic control strikes, it's actually the weather. Now, I've received 4 severe weather warnings on my phone this morning. We've got storms heading on in the direction of the Balearic Islands later on this morning. Are we going to get out of Palma today before those storms hit? Well, join me in my journey today as we head on back to Bristol in the United Kingdom. Let's see what it's like travelling through Palma Airport in peak season. Okay, so we are travelling EasyJet today, and I had an alert from EasyJet as well to say that if we're checking in luggage to get to the airport 2.5 hours before travel. But let's take a quick look at the departure board this morning. Now, I can already see that we do have some delays on the board. And they're heading to Helsinki, Amsterdam, and also various Scandinavian destinations as well. We have a delay later on with the EasyJet to Luton, also to Menorca, to Munich, to Frankfurt. Is our flight okay? Let me have a look. We are flying out at 10 o'clock to Bristol. We have no delayed sign, thank goodness, as of yet. Anyway, let's head on in the direction of security. So I'm not quite sure as to the reason of the delayed flights that we have appearing already on the board. It could be down to the strikes, just generally that we're having throughout Europe this summer. Who knows? Now we're going to just bypass the EasyJet desk. Let's see how busy it is this morning. And you can see why they're telling everyone to arrive here 2.5 hours before flight departure. Look how busy it is. Like I said, this is mid-August, this is peak season. We have a lot of people travelling today. If you've been following the channel as well, you'll know that I've been recommending travelling just with cabin baggage, which is exactly what we're doing today. Got 2 carry-on bags, but I'm just really grateful that we're not at the back of this very, very long queue. So we're going to head on in the direction of security, and I'm going to time our way through as well and let you know how quickly we get through security. But even that's looking busy this morning. You can see far off in the distance, got quite a few queues going through security. Let's see how long it's going to take. Now obviously I can't film my way through. I shall see you on the other side. Okay, so that took about 7 minutes to get through security, and I've mentioned it before in my previous videos, but you leave absolutely everything in your bag now. You don't need to separate electronics, but we still have a 100 milliliter liquid limit. Anyway, let's just quickly go and check the board. So it's all good news for our flight to Bristol this morning, leaving at 10:05. I can see we've got 25 minutes until our gate number is displayed, but look, already we've got several delays on the board, and you can see them a little bit more clearly now. I'm so glad we're not on these delayed flights, because they're probably going to get even more delayed as the day goes along, especially when that storm arrives. Goodness me, just look at the size of this whole security checkpoint area. It's taken up an entire level here, over here at Palma Airport, so it's a lot bigger than it ever was. But I do have a warning for you, and we're going to grab a coffee in a few minutes and I'll let you know what that is. So we're just coming to the huge duty-free area here in Palma Airport, but do not forget my motto. If you are travelling to the United Kingdom, do not stop and do not shop here. We're going to get through as quickly as possible because we can see the amount of people that are travelling today, even just at the EasyJet desk, and I have a feeling that border control could well be busy, and we don't want to get caught up in those queues. So on my left-hand side here, look, we've got departure areas C and D to my left-hand side, but we're not heading off in that direction. So these will be flights heading off to Spain, other areas of Europe, Germany, but we're heading in the direction of Terminal A. You can see a lot of people sleeping out here today. I don't know how delayed these flights have been or how long these people have been here, but this huge area, this brand new area of Palma Airport, I'm guessing that if they do have severe delays, we're going to find this getting packed out. And with storms approaching and the potential for flights to get delayed, I dread to think how busy this could get later on today. Anyway, we are passing plenty of bathrooms here. Look, we've got plenty of loos to my right hand side. We've also got more shops as well. We've got the Natura shop, but like I said, do not hang around, don't stop and don't shop, especially during peak season when it is very busy like it is. Look, we've got lots of cafes and restaurants here, but don't worry too much, because when we get onto the other side of border control and into Terminal A, there are plenty of restaurant choices for you to pick up some food and drink too. So they are starting to install more shops here. We've got this whole Mallorca pearl shop. Look, even more bathrooms as well. Look, loads of bathrooms here. And we're also approaching what is the biggest McDonald's in Europe. Quite interesting actually, they've put it on this side of border control and not over in Terminal A, but look, you can even see queues here, look, for a little cafe on the right hand side. Let's keep heading through, but look how busy it is. Goodness me. To my left hand side here, look, that's the salida, that's the exit out of Palma Airport. If you're coming in from your other European destinations, this is where you'll be exiting the airport. Be careful you don't go through there actually on the way to Terminal A. Don't get caught up in another flight arriving. Just keep walking straight. We have huge queues waiting outside of McDonald's. It hasn't actually opened yet. I mean, what time is it? It's coming up to about 9 a.m. to see this closed up at this time of the morning. And the amount of people waiting outside as well, and also sleeping on the floor. What's going on in Europe today? What is going on? Why have we got so many people camped out at the airport today? I'll have to take a look. Look, even more people waiting to get inside to McDonald's. But we're going to join the flow of people heading on in the direction of Terminal A this morning. Okay, so let's head on in the direction of border control and the passport check area, and I'll give you an update on the other side. Okay, that was pretty quick. I'm going to update you about the whole process of getting through border control and what I've seen as well. I desperately need a coffee, but look, this is why I'm saying don't stop and don't shop. Right back at that busy duty-free area, because we've come right out into a big cafe area here. Admittedly, it is busy, but at least you're the right side of border control if you're heading off to the UK or any other third country. I know the United Airlines flights depart from here, and I'm travelling on the Wednesday again, and I've seen that United are travelling back to Newark. I think we'll have the United plane coming in today. But look, you can see it's peak season. Just look how busy it is. We've got queues for food, queues for just about everything. But look, all those people waiting outside of McDonald's. Just come over here to Burger King. This is open. Okay, so I thought I'd just quickly jump onto the camera here just before we go and grab a coffee, because our gate has actually been called a whole hour actually before we're due to depart. But I just wanted to give you a very quick update about coming through the airport. Now, as I said as I came in, EasyJet were advising to get to the airport 2.5 hours before departure, just because, and you could see today, we had huge queues at the check-in desk. I didn't have time to check the Ryanair desks, but I'm guessing you're going to have to do the same actually, particularly at this time of year, particularly in a peak season. Now, going through security, like I said, don't forget you just keep everything into your bag. But one thing that was a little bit concerning was that when we had to put everything onto the conveyor belt to go through, we then had to join a separate queue to then go through the security checkpoint. There's only one person pushing the bags through, and there's only one person on the checkpoint. So try and keep an eye on your bags as they're going through, particularly if you're carrying anything valuable like I am, like my MacBook Pro, my phone, just, you know, like my life basically, because I had heard on social media this week that a passenger coming through Palma Airport caught somebody actually going through their handbag on the other side of the little security checkpoint, and apparently And allegedly as well, people are getting cheap flights to anywhere in Spain and using this as a pickpocketing opportunity. So try and keep an eye on your bags, like I said, as you're heading on through that checkpoint, but it was very, very quick and easy today. Anyway, as we coming through duty free, again, you saw how busy it was as well. Like I said as well, get yourself through border control. Now, we were really, really lucky today. There was hardly a queue going through the whole border control, the passport check area, and because I'm travelling with my daughter, we couldn't use the e-gates leaving the island. When we come back into the island, we will be able to use the e-gates, or she will be able to use the e-gates, but going out from the island, any children under the age of 18 have to go through the manual check. I could see the new EES machines are in place as well, and I could also see a couple of police as well stamping passports, manually stamping passports of those going through the e-gates. Now, technically, those EES machines should replace passport stamping in the future. I'm wondering what kind of chaos this is going to bring in October. So, like I always say, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'll bring you any updates about that. And also go back and watch my video as well from just a couple of weeks ago talking about the EES and also the ETIAS visa waiver. Okay, so one other thing that I have not found here today in Terminal A is A, any soap again in the toilets. Also, B as well, some of these little electricity points aren't working either. Also got more loos out of service, but I have seen that we do have some more shops. There's a little play area right in front of me too. And I'm also in search of a water fountain for anyone who's bringing a refillable bottle, and I haven't seen that yet. Also, I'd like to know as well if there's a smoking area, not just for those who want to smoke, but sometimes you just want to get some fresh air and you just want to get your head outside in fresh air rather than being in this air-conditioned atmosphere, particularly if there are delays today. Now, we're just going to take a look outside because, like I said, we do have 4 severe weather warnings in place. Fingers crossed we're going to get out of here today and we're going to miss that weather coming through, but I'm expecting a bumpy flight on the way back to England. So let's have a quick look out onto the runway and see whether we can see any bad storms coming in just yet. But let's take a quick look outside. Now look, it is really hard to believe that we are having storms incoming. We still have wonderful blue skies here at Palma. I don't think, fingers crossed, we're going to have any problems today on our flight. It's later on in the day as we head towards midday when I think those storms are going to arrive. And look, we can just see a Transavia plane coming into land. So we can see a Ryanair flight loading up in front of us. Anyway, I'm going to wander back to our departure gate. And just looking at the departure board here, look, we've got our gate called, heading out of gate A16. And look, once again, look, you can see we've got several delayed flights here, heading up to Glasgow, Bournemouth, Edinburgh. Goodness me, we've got quite a few delays on the networks today. Like I said, I've got no idea as to why, but luckily we're going out on time. So just looking left down the terminal today, look how busy it is. Just look how busy it is this morning. And I suspect it's going to get a lot busier later on with any delayed flights. And I've just spotted the water fountain here. It's right beside gate A17. And look, we can see that renovations are ongoing over here at Palma Airport. Look, particularly in Terminal A as well. This whole far side is now opening up as well. We actually travelled from over here in July. And look, we can see more of these EES machines lined up as well in the arrivals area. Okay, so here's something a little bit worrying looking at the EES machines. We can see a whole bank here of PowerPoints and kind of like a desk area. Is there going to be an app associated with the EES for coming into Europe? I don't know, quite possibly, but you can just almost envisage the chaos coming as of the 12th of October 2025. Plus, and this is really nice, look, they've got another little kids play area. And look as well, look, they've got live sports on here as well, which is really good to know. Okay, so the flight's just come in. We've got passengers disembarking. We're all on time. I have, however, had my bag checked and it is within the size limits, thank goodness. But I actually struggled to get it back out of the sizer Shame that wasn't filmed, but anyways, they are still checking bags with EasyJet, and they are picking out random passengers to check the size of their bags. Thank goodness the air conditioning is working. It's over 30 degrees today. Do you know what, we're bang on time this morning. We're actually boarding the flight a half an hour before we're due to take off.
The crew are in the cabin to help.
So we're first down the back of the plane today, but I think this flight is going to fill up very quickly. Got some of the last seats actually because we did book this rather late.
For now, we would just like to ask for attention for a couple of minutes while we take you through the safety procedures for this A320 type aircraft. Your full attention would be appreciated. Following that, do just sit back, relax.
So we can just see clouds bubbling up over the Tramontana Mountains. The weather is changing over here in Mallorca. But anyway, just talking to the cabin crew while we're waiting for the rest of the plane to board, and apparently the seriousness surrounding vaping on board, well, it's quite significant actually. If you are caught vaping on board during a flight, they will put the plane down. They will take the plane to the nearest airport. You will be offloaded and banned from flying on any airline for around 10 years as well. Plus you'll have to pay for the cost of being diverted as well, not just for yourself but for all the other passengers. So that's how seriously they take vaping on EasyJet, at least anyway, and probably pretty much all the other airlines as well. So that was actually really interesting to hear. I'm just showing you a few views here of the runway before we take off today. Just seeing, we've got the TUI flight coming in. Got a bird's eye view of the runway too. So we're taxiing right around the airport here, look, and you can see how much this airport is being expanded. We're onto another phase of development. We're right around the back of Terminal D, and you can see that this airport's going to get even bigger. I mean, it's just enormous anyway, but there's still quite a lot of expansion to be done. Anyway, we've taxied round to the very far runway here. I suspect we're going to be taking off in an easterly direction. Let's see. Look, we're just taxiing around as well, that all the private jets are too. It's not often we come round this way. So I can't treat you to the usual amazing views from the aircraft today. As you can see, that we've come right above the clouds here. And the weather is changing pretty rapidly right beneath me. Look at all this cloud bubbling up. And it looks like we've just come into quite a wet Bristol today. I think it's raining. Definitely going to have to dig that coat out. Do you know, I didn't press record coming off the plane, but my goodness, that was a really, really good flight. It was very, very quick, and we got here on time, but I have to say it's absolutely freezing. My weather app says it's 17 degrees, but the real feel is 13. I've packed my shorts. I don't think they're going to be leaving my case, but I have to say it's really nice to have a drop in temperatures actually from the really excessive heat that we've had in Palma these past few weeks. Anyway, let's head on through through the security checkpoint. And I've got to say as well, as we come down into arrivals, that EasyJet flight was just so much better than Ryanair. The cabin crew are super friendly, just have a bit more space, you can take a little bit more baggage with you as well. Much better flight. It's actually worth the extra money, and we didn't get stuck at Palma Airport today either with the weather. Not that the weather's looking much better here today. And do you know what? I think we're coming through a new area in Bristol Airport. I haven't actually seen this area before. Has this area expanded too? Quite possibly. And I do believe, I think we're down the far end where they normally have the EasyJet flights. But all this looks brand new too. So there you have it, a brand new area on Bristol Airport there. Bristol Airport fans, I think I've made more videos going through Bristol Airport than anyone. I think we travel through here so frequently. Anyway, let's just quickly head on through passport control. So passport control took about 1 minute to get through. There's hardly anybody in the area. It's just our flight coming in. As you can see as well, coming through Bristol Airport, there's barely anybody here today, which is quite unusual for peak season. Normally this arrivals hall is absolutely packed, but not today. Now, are we going to get the sniffer dogs? Let's head on through here, because don't forget, we're not allowed to bring meat or dairy products from the EU back into the United Kingdom, and that's purely because of a foot and mouth disease outbreak. Okay everyone, don't forget, come and join us on the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook group, follow me on Instagram, and follow my journey back to Palma after we've had a lovely holiday here in the southwest of England. Thanks very much for watching everyone. I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.